I think I went a minute earlier, but I'm just sip some tea for a second. I'm just really, whew. Oof, man. This book, he has a few books. I've only read 2. I've read this one that I'm gonna talk about, and I read Whole Tactics. I'm gonna just drink another sip for the cause. Very well. Let the review begin. Okay. So, I did not actually physically read the book. I did a audio of it. It's a great audio by, I think, I remember the first name is Clay. Forget the last name, but it's a guy who does the narration of it. And straight out, if you read the reviews, you can tell this is nothing that you would expect. All of your favorite love gurus and things like that. It doesn't remind me of any of it. All of the back and forths, things like that. It's nothing that you would expect to hear from a guy about how they love or anything like that. While listening to it, I was thinking of my own situations, taking my own L's, thinking of everyone else's situation, thinking about their L's, and it just really makes you think about what is it that women really say here and ignore. To the point where after I read the book, I went on a date and I just seen what was up, and I just, instead of just doing what I would usually do, that book came in my head and I said, girl, don't you play yourself, not again. This book is very, it helps you see a different light. It's something that I cannot necessarily put down. It's nothing that I would, it's, you know, that book you put on your shelf and you have a bunch of notes on it and you always go back to reference for it? That is this type of book. It is a reference book. It's something to really pay attention to, for the simple fact that if you want something different out of your life, that's a good one. I would advise, if like mothers read this book and like caught on to the game, I would advise them to hand it down to their daughters. It's something that I think is really great for generations to learn. To the point where I want to make sure that I learned this book so well that I'm going to do a series up here, chapter by chapter. I'm not going to plagiarize. I'm going to take some quotes. I'm going to say them because they're worth it. Where's my tea? Where's my... It wasn't done. My green tea. This is shade to myself. Okay. It's worth the tea, worth everything. Okay. For people that have a problem with what other YouTubers are saying about this is what you gotta do, blah 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 blah. And then you read this book, you understand. I mean, I'm gonna do a few book reviews, but for this one, he gives it to you raw, like raw. There's no, oh, let me just be nice about it. You're not stupid. Let me just finish my cup. I'm almost done, y'all. I'm almost done. All right, it is done. All right, he talks about, I remember I made a song that was talking about how women are always being very insecure with one another. Oh, but how, at least I look better than her, blah 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 blah. But that never changes their situationship, okay? Yes, so it's just like, or that doesn't change how they get respected in a relationship, or the type of predicament that they're in, the things that they settle for, voluptuous and all. They sometimes get into a worse situation than what they try to make themselves out to be, and when women do that, like, oh, at least I look better than her, oh, she doesn't even have thighs, oh. She doesn't even have fucking crying. Okay, so things like that, it just shows how inferior you look. Inferior, rather than the objective that you think you're going for, such as, oh, I'm better than you. Really, what you're looking like is nobody treats you well. Nobody. Sorry y'all. Cat. All right. Staying in here? Yeah, right. Anyway. And listening to him really break it down, all the way down to the nice guys, I see it all. I see it. There was one day this guy tried to talk to me, I'm gonna just give the example. This guy tried to talk to me, and at first, he wasn't mentioning anything about God and things like that. Not a big thing. As y'all know up here, I'm not religious to the slightest. But, I said, let me see what he says if I tell him I used to go to youth conference. Terrible game. Ready? The guy follows up by saying, oh, I thank God every day. Right after, y'all. Right after. I thank God every day. And I forgot the whole storyline he gave me, but it was something where I'm like, even if it was true, right? Because I don't know this guy from a lick of paint. Even if it was true, it's just like, seriously, you waited until I told you that to start being like, oh yeah, all these things about how much you thank God. And I'm like, really? Because if this was something that you were into, you would have brought this up like a mile 30 minutes while I was waiting for my car. 30 minutes before this conversation even got here. So, no. And all it is people trying to do a game. Guys will try to, seem like they relate to you so that they put the image in your head that we got something in common. Don't. But this book, pointed that out to me. There's so many things that this book is like, wow, like it's breathtaking, the amount of information that I got out of this book, the things that I did not expect out of this book that has came. So like I said, I'm going to make a series chapter by chapter talking about each chapter, because when I discuss things, I learn it from myself, and I think that is very important to learn. Now I have a few other books like that I want to do book reviews on. Another one from him, and another book about confidence. That was an amazing book. Okay, that these are really great books that I want to not only sit here and talk about, but actually go through them. I have another book when it comes to like magic and alchemy as well that I want to do a review on, but I think I might do that as a recorded review. As far as topics such as these, I'm thinking about doing lives, just because, you know, I like being raw and unedited. It's something about it that I find engrossing, that I can't get these moments back, and I don't really care to edit it out. I don't. So, getting back to the book, it is a life-changing book. It will open your eyes to something new, different, refreshing, nothing that you would expect. When I saw the title, I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna break down the science of it, and you know, say something about, I don't know, something traditional or something like that. Not at all. Not at all. Well, there is some stuff that's like, okay, that makes sense, but that's probably because I read the book. I've been reading books. I'm involved with people that's saying the message that he's evangelizing, and it's a priceless thing. I never audioed the book, but I really enjoy it. And I mean, I would have got the PDF, or I mean, not the PDF, the physical copy, but I had credit up there, so I was like, you know, let me get it for free. Let me see what this is about. Who is G.L Lambert? But this guy is the bomb diggity biscuit, and I appreciate him, okay, for laying and slaying the game out like this. So, listening to the first chapter, finished taking my notes, and then right after this live, I'm gonna come back and I'm going to talk about the first chapter. So, as usual, everyone has questions for me after I'm done with my live. I will announce when I will go back to, well, when I come back up here. But please, if you make it to a live, just ask me there, so that I'm not on a live talking about a live from a long time ago. And I hope that if you do read this book, please comment below. Tell me how you took it. Tell me what levels it took you on. Also, that's another thing about levels. On my Instagram, I'm talking about, you know, different things that's helping you level up. So this is one of the books that I'm coming back to. And yeah, so try not to hit the L and level up instead. So with all that being said, always remember that word is bond, one love.